Have you ever wondered why your legs feel heavier than they used to? Why standing up from a chair takes just a few extra seconds? Or why your arms tire more quickly, even though you haven't done anything differently? It doesn't happen all at once. It creeps in slowly, a missed step here, a longer nap there. And before you realize it, you've lost something precious, your strength. But what if I told you that you don't need a gym membership, you don't need protein powders, and you certainly don't need to accept this as just part of aging? What if the key to rebuilding your strength quietly, gently, and naturally was already sitting in your kitchen? Not in a bottle, not in a prescription, but in a bowl on your counter. In this video, we're uncovering 5 ordinary fruits that carry extraordinary power, fruits that can help reverse age-related muscle loss, fight fatigue, and restore the energy you thought was gone forever. These aren't superfoods from some far-off jungle. They're humble, accessible, and backed by something deeper than hype: results. And here's the twist: you've likely eaten them before, but no one ever told you what they could really do for your body. One of these fruits contains a compound that quietly triggers muscle growth, even without exercise. Another helps you recover from soreness while you sleep. And the most powerful one? You might be throwing away the very part that makes it work. This isn't a list. This is a wake-up call. Because aging doesn't mean giving up strength. It means learning where to find it again. And in the next few minutes, you'll discover how 5 simple fruits could quietly transform the way you move, sleep, and feel from the inside out. So stay with me to the end. This may be the most important thing you'll hear about your body this year. Before we dive any deeper, I've got a little surprise for you. And yes, there's a reward involved. Want to win a free gift from Daily Elder Advice? Here's your chance to participate in our health challenge and be rewarded for learning something new. How to join? 1. Subscribe to our channel. Don't miss out on future videos. 2. Comment your answer below to this question. Out of the 5 fruits mentioned in this video, which one should be eaten with the peel for maximum health benefits? 3. Share this video with a friend or a loved one who would enjoy it. We will randomly choose 5 lucky winners from the comments to receive a special reward from us. Make sure your comment stands out. We love reading thoughtful answers. Winners will be announced in our next video, so stay tuned. Let's learn, grow, and age stronger together. Ready? Drop your answer in the comments below. Chapter 1. Avocado, the green guardian of muscle. Have you ever stood in front of a mirror, lifted your arm to put on a shirt, and noticed that it felt just a little bit harder than it used to be? Maybe not painful, just a slight resistance, like your strength isn't quite where it once was. If you felt that, you're not imagining it. After the age of 60, our muscles begin to shrink gradually, almost imperceptibly, unless we actively nourish them. But what if one of your most powerful allies in keeping those muscles strong wasn't a supplement or a workout plan, but a creamy green fruit you've probably overlooked? Yes, I'm talking about avocado. Avocados are often seen as trendy. Young people mash them on toast and snap photos for social media. But for older adults, this fruit isn't just delicious, it's deeply therapeutic. Its benefits go far beyond taste or aesthetics. It serves as a quiet, powerful protector of your muscular health, balance, and even energy. Why avocado matters after 60? Let's start with something most people don't talk about: inflammation. As we age, our bodies naturally shift into a state where low-grade inflammation becomes more common. It's not the type you notice immediately. It doesn't come with redness, swelling, or fever, but it's always there in the background, chipping away at your tissues, especially muscle. That slow erosion of strength, the feeling that you're just not as stable, that's often driven by this kind of invisible inflammation. Avocado quietly counters that. It's rich in monounsaturated fats, the good kind of fat that doesn't clog your arteries or pad your waistline. These fats are anti-inflammatory by nature. They soothe the system. They help protect your cells from breakdown. Over time, this leads to better muscle function, more flexibility, and fewer aches that seem to appear without explanation. But there's more. Avocados are incredibly rich in potassium and magnesium, a mineral duo that helps regulate muscle contractions. prevent cramps, and keep your heart rhythm steady. If you've ever felt your legs suddenly lock up while stretching, or had an odd twitch in your calf during the night, that might be your body crying out for more of these essential minerals. And unlike bananas, which are also high in potassium, avocados deliver this benefit without the sugar spike. Add to that their vitamin E content, one of the most potent antioxidants known to protect cells from damage, and you're looking at a powerhouse for protecting and preserving your muscles. A real-life turnaround. Clara's story. Let me tell you about Clara. Clara is 72, a retired schoolteacher, and one of those people who brings light into every room. But a few years ago, Clara began noticing something troubling. Each night, just as she'd drift off to sleep, her legs would seize up in painful cramps. She tried staying hydrated, she tried stretching, she even started avoiding evening walks, fearing they might trigger the cramps. Nothing worked. One day, during a visit with her daughter, who happened to be a nutritionist, Clara mentioned the issue. Her daughter suggested something surprisingly simple. Try adding half an avocado to dinner every night. Skeptical but willing, Clara gave it a try. She'd slice it into salads, mash it onto whole grain toast, or simply drizzle it with lemon and eat it as is. 2 weeks went by, then 3, then something clicked. The cramps were gone. Her sleep returned, her energy in the morning was back. She started walking longer distances without hesitation, even picking up speed. It's like I got part of myself back, she told me, her eyes sparkling. Clara didn't start lifting weights or taking protein shakes. She just made space in her daily routine for a fruit that delivered exactly what her body had been asking for. How to use avocado to support muscle strength. Now, before you run to the kitchen and mash an entire avocado into your next meal, let's talk balance. You don't need to overdo it. A half to 1 medium avocado per day is a solid guideline. It provides enough healthy fats and nutrients to support your muscles without overwhelming your caloric needs, especially if you're not very active. Here are a few practical ways to add avocado to your daily meals. Breakfast. Spread half an avocado on whole grain toast. Add a sprinkle of sesame seeds or flax, and top with a poached egg for protein. Lunch. Add slices of avocado to your sandwich or salad. It enhances flavor and adds satiety without processed oils. Dinner. Mash avocado with a touch of lemon and garlic to create a creamy side dish for grilled chicken or fish. Snack. Blend avocado with cocoa powder, a touch of honey, and almond milk for rich, healthy chocolate pudding. What about sugar or blood pressure? Avocados are naturally low in sugar, virtually zero, and contain no cholesterol. Their healthy fats actually help stabilize blood sugar levels, making them safe for diabetics when eaten in moderation. And the potassium, it may help counterbalance sodium in your diet, potentially aiding blood pressure control. Avocado isn't a miracle fruit. It's not magic, but it is a consistent ally in your quest to age with strength, grace, and independence. It works quietly in the background, supporting your muscles, nourishing your cells, and giving your body what it needs to stay mobile, balanced, and resilient. It won't erase all the effects of aging, but it might just help you keep your stride longer, sleep deeper, and rise each morning with more confidence. Chapter 2. Tart cherries, the nighttime healer that restores strength. Do you ever wake up in the morning feeling like your legs are made of stone? You try to stretch, move, maybe even smile through the stiffness, but your body feels like it's carrying a weight it didn't have the day before. This heaviness, this tightness in the joints and muscles, it's not just about getting older. It's often a signal, a quiet whisper from your body that says, I need more help recovering. And one of the most overlooked allies in helping the aging body recover, especially at night, is tart cherry. No, not the sweet cherries you might snack on during summer. We're talking about tart cherries, sometimes called Montmorency cherries. These small, sour fruits have been used for generations to ease discomfort, but only recently have we started to understand just how powerful they can be, especially for muscle repair and reducing soreness. Why recovery becomes harder with age. As you grow older, your body becomes less efficient at repairing itself. Your muscles take longer to bounce back after activity. A walk that used to energize you might now leave you aching. That tired all the time feeling? It's not always about fatigue, it can be poor muscle recovery. This is where Todd cherries step in. Todd cherries are rich in natural compounds called anthocyanins, deep red pigments with anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. These compounds act like fire extinguishers for the slow-burning inflammation that quietly damages tissues and makes recovery slower. They reduce swelling, soothe the muscle fibers, and help your body repair itself after even mild activity. But their magic doesn't stop there. One of the most surprising benefits of Todd cherries is that they contain natural melatonin, yes. The same hormone your body produces to regulate sleep. And we all know this. Sleep is when your muscles truly rebuild. A life restored through sleep. Paul's story. Paul is 68. He's a retired mechanic who prides himself on independence. For decades, he started every morning with a short walk and a big smile. But lately, his mornings had changed. He'd wake up exhausted, his legs felt stiff and heavy, like dragging sacks of wet sand. It got to the point where he started skipping his walks. "I'm not tired," he would say. "I'm sore." No matter how much he rested, the tightness remained. Then, his granddaughter, who'd read about Todd cherry juice in a wellness magazine, bought him a bottle and asked him to try drinking a small glass before bed. 2 weeks later, Paul was a new man. He called me and said, "It's like I gave my body permission to heal at night." His sleep improved, his legs didn't ache as much in the morning, and he found himself walking longer distances again, humming to himself along the way. Paul didn't change his diet or routine. He just gave his body the nourishment it needed at the right time of day. How to use Todd cherry effectively. Let's talk practical application. How can you incorporate Todd cherries into your life? There are a few ways. 1. 100% Todd cherry juice. Drink about 4 ounces, 120 milliliters in the evening, about 1 hour before bedtime. Make sure it's unsweetened and 100% pure, not a cocktail or mixed blend. Store in the fridge and sip slowly. Let your body ease into recovery. 2. Dried Todd cherries. Sprinkle into oatmeal or yogurt. Great for daytime snacks, especially after physical activity. Watch portion sizes, limit to a small handful, about 1/4 cup. 3. Todd cherry capsules. Available at health stores for those who don't enjoy the taste. Always consult a doctor first if taking other medications. Important notes. If you're diabetic, Todd cherry juice may still be safe in moderation due to its low glycemic impact. But always monitor your blood sugar. If you have trouble sleeping, Todd cherry may help regulate your sleep cycles naturally. Pain, soreness, and fatigue do not have to become your everyday companions. Sometimes, all your body needs is a little extra help, a signal that it's safe to repair, rebuild, and recover. Todd cherry is one of nature's most powerful signals. It offers you 2 blessings at once: reduced muscle soreness and deeper sleep. And those 2 things, sleep and strength, are everything as we age. When you wake up with energy in your step and calm in your muscles, the entire day feels different. You move better. You feel more confident. You look forward to your routines again. Chapter 3. Apple, the everyday muscle booster hiding in plain sight. We've all heard the old saying, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." It's simple, it's familiar, and maybe it even sounds a little outdated. But what if we've underestimated that apple sitting in our fruit bowl? Because hidden beneath its crisp skin lies a powerful secret, one that speaks directly to anyone over 60 who's trying to hold on to their strength, stability, and stamina. Yes, the humble apple might just be one of the most effective fruits for reversing muscle loss and supporting the vitality that aging quietly tries to steal away. Strength in the skin. Why apples matter. What makes apples so powerful for your muscles isn't just the fiber or the vitamins. It's a specific compound found in the peel called ursolic acid. This compound plays a fascinating role in protecting and building muscle mass. While most of us think of muscle as something you had to train at the gym, the truth is your diet controls far more than you realize. And for older adults, what you eat matters more than how hard you exercise. Ursolic acid appears to influence two key aspects of muscular aging. 1. It slows the breakdown of muscle tissue. As we age, our bodies naturally produce more of a protein called myostatin, which tells our muscles to stop growing. Ursolic acid helps lower those levels, giving your body permission to retain the muscle it already has. 2. It encourages new muscle growth. This compound may help your body produce more IGF-1, a growth hormone that's especially important for older adults. IGF-1 helps maintain muscle tone, balance, and endurance. But the apple doesn't stop there. It's also rich in quercetin, an antioxidant that supports mitochondrial health. Think of mitochondria as the power plants inside your muscle cells. When they're strong, you have energy. When they're weak, fatigue sets in quickly, even during the simplest tasks. Apples are also high in soluble fiber, especially pectin, which helps regulate blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and support gut health. And as emerging science shows, a healthy gut is directly connected to better muscle maintenance and faster recovery. A routine reclaimed. Mr. David's story. Mr. David is 79 years old and has lived in the same house for nearly 5 decades. He's the kind of person who thrives on routine, same breakfast, same walk, same afternoon cup of tea. But not long ago, something started changing. His knees began to ache going up the stairs. Yard work, once a peaceful morning joy, began leaving him breathless and sore. He started spending more time in his recliner and less time in the garden. His daughter, concerned about his mobility, started researching simple dietary shifts. She didn't push supplements or protein shakes. She simply said, "Dad, let's start with apples." He agreed, reluctantly at first. But each morning, she prepared him a whole apple, sliced but unpeeled, to eat with breakfast. After about a month, something shifted. Mr. David noticed he could go up and down the stairs more easily. He had fewer aches after raking leaves. His energy in the afternoon felt steadier, and he no longer collapsed into the recliner right after lunch. "I don't know what's in those apples," he joked one day, "but they've got me moving again." Sometimes, the most powerful solutions are the simplest. No special equipment, no painful adjustments, just an apple. Every single day. How to make apples work for you. Apples are one of the most accessible and affordable fruits, but using them effectively requires a little strategy. 1. Always eat the peel. That's where the ursolic acid lives. Washing the apple thoroughly or buying organic helps minimize pesticide exposure. Slicing it into oatmeal or dipping it in nut butter helps if chewing is an issue. 2. Avoid apple juice. Apple juice removes fiber and concentrates sugar. For muscle building and blood sugar stability, stick with whole apples. 3. Timing matters. Apples are best eaten in the morning or early afternoon, when their energy boost can be put to good use. Pair them with healthy fat or protein to stabilize blood sugar and sustain energy. 4. Simple serving ideas. Add sliced apples to a bowl of oatmeal with cinnamon and walnuts. Bake apple wedges with a sprinkle of nutmeg for warm, gut-friendly dessert. Combine apples with leafy greens and pumpkin seeds for a muscle-supporting salad. In a world filled with trendy health fads, complex diets, and overpriced powders, sometimes the greatest strength lies in returning to the basics. The apple is a perfect example. It's not flashy. It doesn't advertise itself as a superfood, but what it offers is even better: quiet, consistent support for your muscles, your energy, and your independence. As we age, strength doesn't always come from lifting more, it often comes from nourishing more, with the right foods at the right time. Chapter 4: Pomegranate, the circulation supercharger that revives aging muscles. Sometimes, it's not that your muscles are weak, it's that they're not getting what they need. Have you ever stood up too fast and felt dizzy? Or noticed that your legs tire faster? Even though your routine hasn't changed, it might not be a lack of effort. It could be a lack of circulation. And this is where one fruit, often overlooked and underestimated, can make a dramatic difference. Enter the pomegranate. With its deep ruby seeds and ancient lineage, the pomegranate has long been a symbol of vitality. But beyond its cultural meaning, it carries a profound biological gift: the ability to boost blood flow, deliver oxygen to your muscles, and support recovery in ways that even some medications can't replicate. Why circulation is the unsung hero of muscle health. As we grow older, our blood vessels become less elastic. Our heart may still pump, but the highways that deliver nutrients, our veins and arteries, don't always cooperate. The result? Muscles that aren't getting the oxygen and fuel they need, especially during movement. Poor circulation can lead to muscle fatigue during short walks, slow healing after exertion, cold hands and feet, and a creeping sense of weakness that's hard to explain. Pomegranate steps in as a natural solution. It contains compounds that stimulate the production of nitric oxide, a molecule that helps relax and widen blood vessels. When your vessels open, more blood flows. And with better blood flow comes better muscle performance, faster recovery, and increased endurance without changing your exercise habits. The unexpected return of joy. George's story. George is 74. He's a widower, a quiet man with a gentle laugh and a small garden that he's kept for decades. For years, tending to his flowers and vegetables gave him purpose. But recently, the effort left him drained. He noticed that after 20 minutes of weeding or trimming, he'd had to sit down. His legs would ache, not sharply, but in a dull, persistent way. He'd lose energy fast, even after a good night's sleep. His doctor told him his heart was fine. No major red flags, just normal aging, he was told. But George wasn't ready to settle for that. A friend suggested pomegranate juice. Skeptical but curious, George started drinking a small glass every morning. He didn't expect much, but within a couple of weeks, he noticed something. He could move longer in the garden. He didn't feel breathless bending over. His legs felt lighter, and most importantly, he didn't have to stop doing what he loved. I used to feel like my muscles were running on low fuel, he said. Now it's like someone turned the engine back on. How to use pomegranate for strength and stamina. Pomegranate is more than just a decorative fruit. It's a functional tool for anyone over 60 looking to maintain energy, reduce soreness, and stay mobile. 1. Pomegranate juice. Choose 100% pure juice, no added sugars. Limit to 4 to 6 ounces per day to avoid overloading on natural sugars. Best taken before light activity, like a walk or housework, to maximize its oxygen delivery benefits. 2. Fresh seeds. Sprinkle on salads, yogurt, or oatmeal. Provides fiber, which the juice lacks. Offers the same nitric oxide benefits, plus digestive support. 3. Smoothies or blends. Combine pomegranate with spinach, banana, and protein-rich yogurt for a powerful morning blend. A few tips. If you're on blood thinners, consult your doctor. Pomegranate may enhance their effect. Avoid pomegranate juice, cocktails. They're often diluted and sweetened. Pomegranate doesn't just help your muscles recover, it helps them perform. And when your circulation improves, your entire body feels the shift: brighter energy, clearer thinking, easier movement. It's not just about blood flow, it's about freedom. The freedom to walk longer, climb stairs with confidence, and get through your day without feeling like your legs are betraying you. George's garden didn't change, his body did, because he gave it what it needed. Not a drug, not a machine, but a fruit that's been healing for centuries. And that's the beauty of aging wisely. Chapter 5. Prunes, the wrinkled warrior of muscle longevity. When most people hear the word prune, they think of one thing: digestion, a natural laxative, something older folks eat to stay regular. And while that's true, it's only a fraction of what this powerful little dried fruit can offer. Because behind its wrinkled skin lies one of the most underrated weapons in the fight against muscle aging. Prunes are not just for the gut, they're a quiet, consistent force supporting muscle strength, joint health, and cellular recovery, especially for those over 60. The hidden strength in a humble fruit. Muscle loss, known as sarcopenia, isn't always obvious at first. It starts subtly. Difficulty carrying groceries, getting out of a low chair, or climbing stairs without using your hands. Over time, it affects balance, independence, and quality of life. What makes prunes so effective in this battle? It comes down to 3 key factors. 1. Antioxidants that protect your muscles. Prunes are rich in compounds like chlorogenic acid and rutin, which help fight off the oxidative stress that breaks down muscle fibers as we age. Think of it as internal rust. These antioxidants help prevent that rust from taking hold. 2. Support for hormones that build muscle. Prunes may help stimulate the production of IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor, a hormone your body uses to grow and maintain muscle tissue. This is vital for anyone past 60, when hormone levels naturally decline and the body struggles to build muscle, even with exercise. 3. Minerals that strengthen bones and joints. Prunes are high in boron, a trace mineral that helps the body better absorb calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D. That means prunes support not just your muscles, but the bones and joints they depend on. When skepticism turns to strength, Aunt Helen's story. Aunt Helen is 76. She's the kind of woman who laughs loudly, speaks her mind, and drinks her coffee black. When someone suggested she eat prunes for her sore legs, she laughed. "Aren't those for people with slow bowels?" she said, half joking. But then the aches got worse. Her morning walks, once a peaceful ritual, started leaving her feeling stiff and unbalanced. One day, she tripped on the curb. Nothing serious, but it scared her. Reluctantly, she added 5 prunes a day to her breakfast. She chopped them into her oats, sometimes blended them into a smoothie. No other changes, just that one shift. A month later, she called and said, "I feel like someone oiled my hinges." Her legs were less sore. Her steps felt steadier. She started walking longer again. And every morning, she looked forward to her little sweet reward, no longer just a digestive helper, but a secret strength builder. How to eat prunes for muscle and mobility. Forget the old reputation. Prunes are a smart addition to any older adult's daily routine, especially if you're focused on staying strong, steady, and independent. 1. The ideal dose. 5 to 6 prunes per day is a great target for muscle and bone benefits. This provides about 100 calories, lots of fiber, and a healthy dose of key nutrients. 2. Easy ways to enjoy. Chop and mix into morning oatmeal. Blend into a smoothie with almond milk and cinnamon. Combine with nuts and coconut flakes for homemade energy bites. Enjoy as an evening snack, naturally sweet, satisfying, and low on the glycemic index. 3. What to watch for. If you're not used to a lot of fiber, start with 2 to 3 prunes and increase gradually. Drink water throughout the day to help with digestion. Choose unsulfured prunes if possible. They're less processed and more nutrient-dense. Aging isn't about getting weaker, it's about adapting smarter. You don't have to fight sarcopenia with expensive powders or complicated routines. Sometimes, it starts with a small, wrinkled fruit and a bit of consistency. Prunes are a reminder that what looks ordinary may hold extraordinary power. They help keep your muscles from shrinking, your joints from stiffening, and your body from giving in to what the world expects from someone your age. Just like Aunt Helen, you don't have to believe in it at first. You just had to give it a chance. As we reach the end of this journey through avocados, tart cherries, apples, pomegranates, and prunes, it becomes clear that this wasn't just a list of fruits. It was a gentle reminder that even after 60, your choices still matter deeply. That every small decision you make at the dining table can either weaken or strengthen the very foundation of your health. Aging is not a surrender, it's an opportunity to adapt, to nourish, and to reclaim strength in new ways. Your body, though different than it once was, is still capable of healing, of movement, and of joy. Every bite of avocado is not just food, but fuel. Every tart cherry at night isn't just a snack, it's permission to recover while you sleep. That apple peel you don't discard, it holds more power than most pills. The pomegranate juice you sip, It carries oxygen and vitality through your veins. And every prune you chew with intention reminds your body, I haven't given up, I'm still building. Strength doesn't vanish with age. It shifts, it settles into quiet habits, consistent choices, and gentle routines that protect your freedom. Not the freedom to run marathons, but the freedom to get up without pain, to walk without fear, to laugh without fatigue. The freedom to remain yourself. And the best part, you don't need complicated routines or expensive supplements. Just 5 fruits, 5 small, beautiful daily reminders that say, I'm still strong. I'm still here. I still matter. So if this message resonated with you, I invite you to share your story in the comments. Have you tried any of these fruits? Did you notice a change? Your voice might be the encouragement someone else is waiting for. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Daily Elder Advice, because we believe aging isn't a decline. It's a transformation, and you deserve to be strong through every stage of it.